Good afternoon. We'll call to order the City of Murfreesboro Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting for November 26, 2024. First item on our agenda is a determination of a quorum, and with all 5 members of the board present, we do have a quorum. With that, I'd like to recognize our new member and welcome him to the Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. Bob Batchelor. So look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Next item is the public comment section. Has anyone reached out to speak before the meeting today?
We have not had anybody reach out, Chair Young.
Okay. Next item is a consideration of the minutes for the regular meeting on September 25th, 2024. Those minutes were provided to the board members. Are there any changes necessary?
No, sir.
All right, hearing none, those minutes will be approved as written. And next we'll move to old business. We have one item under Administrative Appeals, application Z24024 by Sean Henry representing AutoZone that was appealing a decision of the zoning administrator. We've been working through appeals process there between the city and AutoZone staff, and understand they would like to defer that item again. Is that correct?
That is correct, Chair Young. In the packet and in front of you, there's a copy of the letter. They've requested to defer the item to the January 22nd BZA meeting.
Okay. Guess we'll need motion.
Move we approve.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second to defer. Any further discussion? If not, will you call the roll for us?
Mr. Batchelor?
Aye.
Ms. Lavender?
Aye.
Mr. Tips?
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton?
Aye.
Chair Young?
Aye. All right, so we will see that one again. Next, under new business, special use permit, application Z24043 by Miss Anna Maddox of Bard Civil Associates, representing Rutherford County Schools. They are requesting a special use permit in order to expand an existing institutional group assembly use, in this case a public high school, in a single-family residential RS8 zone. This is for property located at 619 South Highland Avenue. An approximately 1,800 square foot greenhouse is proposed, and this is to serve as a lab for plant science courses. Mr. Donovan, you review that for us.
Yes, Chair Young. Thank you. So this is a special use permit request to amend the special use permit for Holloway High School. The applicant here is proposing to add a additional greenhouse to their facility. This is an educational facility which is an institutional group assembly use, which is allowed in the RS8 zoning district as a special use permit, which is the reason it's before you today. So this property is located at 619 South Highland. This is just north of Bradley Elementary School currently, which is zoned RS8, as well as the City of Murfreesboro Patterson Park, which is to the east of the subject location and zoned RM16. And then to the north is the Murfreesboro Housing Authority property, which is in a PUD. And to the west are some RS4 zoned properties that are single-family residential. So what is proposed by the applicant for the site is an 1,800 square foot greenhouse. It is going into where part of their existing parking lot is today. It's requiring some rearranging of that parking, and losing approximately 10 spaces, but they are adequately parked on site. They're more than double parked our standard, so because they're losing some parking doesn't affect their parking requirement. They're still in good standing there. But it's going to be a new 1,800 square foot greenhouse. They are relocating one light pole to an island that is being reestablished because of the movement that is taking place on site with the parking. This is going to be tucked in between the gymnasium that's just to the north and the school building that's just to the south of it. The front plane of this building will be just recessed slightly off of the neighboring school building as well. Staff has reviewed the application. It's in generally good order. And staff is recommending approval with one condition. The site plan shall be submitted to the planning department for review and approval prior to the issuance of building permits. The site plan submittal shall include civil plans, landscape plans, photometric, and building elevations and any other plans necessary to demonstrate compliance with our zoning ordinance and design guidelines. There were also, I will show you, there are some photos of what the greenhouse facility is going to look like as well. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have, and Miss Anna Maddox is here representing the school district, and she can answer any other questions the board may have.
All right, thank you. Any questions for staff at this point? Hearing none, Ms. Maddox, anything you'd like to add to the application? Okay. All right, at this time, we'll conduct a public hearing. If there's anyone present wishing to speak for or against this application, if you'd come forward, give us your name and address, and provide us any comments you may have. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and open the floor for any further discussion or a motion.
I move to approve, subject to staff's conditions for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, will you call the roll for us?
Mr. Batchelor?
Aye.
Ms. Lavender?
Aye.
Mr. Tibbs?
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton?
Aye.
Chair Young?
Aye. All right, that application's been approved. Next is application Z24044, again by Ms. Anna Maddox of Barge Civil Associates, representing Rutherford County Schools. This is requesting a special use permit in order to expand an existing institutional group assembly use, again at a public high school, in an RS-15 zone. This is for property located at 802 Warrior Drive. They're looking for an approximately 2,280 square foot agricultural building to serve existing animal grazing and to support agricultural education programs at the school. If you'd review this one for us.
Yes, Chair Young. So this request is, again, to amend a special use permit for the expansion of an existing high school facility. An existing high school facility, which is an institutional group assembly use that requires a special use permit for operation. So the subject property is located on Warrior Drive, just south of Interstate 24 and west of South Church Street. The property is currently bordered by RS-15 to the north and east of the property. The northern property is vacant, but to the east of the subject property is Riverdale East Estates. There's also one property that is zoned CH located to the northeast, and it's undeveloped at this time. Properties to the west across Warrior Drive, they're zoned RS-15 and developed as single-family residential detached. So this is approximately just under 2,300 square foot barn facility. If you remember, there was a similar request earlier this year for Oakland. Now that request has taken place at Riverdale, and I'm going to get to the site plan so you can see where it's located on the site. So here's the overall site plan in the back, in the north kind of east portion up against the existing floodplain that's on the property is where this is located. The barn, which is the dark gray dot you're seeing there, is what's proposed. You will see a fence that goes around it. That is existing currently today, so that is already on site. What they're doing here is adding a barn. It's not the grazing facility and the barn. The grazing facility already exists. A little zoom in on so that you can better see what's occurring there is you have approximately about 2 acres that's grazing area with the barn going to be in the middle of it. So this is to support agricultural programs that are already on site. It's a very similar project to what was seen on Oakland in scope. Staff has reviewed this item. and after reviewing it, believes it meets our general standards of applicability and the specific institutional group assembly uses. And staff recommends approval with one condition as well. And that one condition is a site plan shall be submitted to the planning department for review and approval. Prior to the issuance of building permits, the site plan submittal shall include civil plans, landscape plans, photometric lighting plan, and building elevations and any other plans necessary to demonstrate compliance with the zoning ordinance and design guidelines. And again, I'm here to answer any questions along with Ms. Maddox representing the county schools.
Thanks. Any questions for staff at this point? All right, thank you. Anything you'd like to add to this application?
No, sir.
All right. At this time, we'll conduct a public hearing for this application. Anyone present wishing to speak? Sure. Come to the podium, give us your name and address, and provide us any comments you may
Yeah,
have.
I'm Bob Martin at 805 Warrior, just across the street. So just simple questions of like access to the barn. There was a zoning appeal that was done to rezone for the construction of the new school, the additions to the school. And there's a temporary road put in that's supposed to come out once the school construction is done. Does this change anything that was done with that?
Yeah, so they're not proposing currently from the discussions we've had any changes to the site plan that has previously been approved. Access to this site, there's a road that's existing on the school already that gets to it that you can see that runs up next to the baseball field. And we'll also address that in the site plan phase. I don't believe that they're going to propose any new accesses.
That's correct.
So if that's the case, that's the only question I had.
All right, thank you. Is anyone else present wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and open the floor for any further discussion or motion.
Question, do we need to get her on the record, Ms. Maddox? She made a statement from the audience that there wasn't going to be any changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably best that we do that.
I'm Anna Maddox with Barge Civil Associates. We are not providing new or additional access to the proposed barn. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I'll make a motion to approve, subject to all staff comments.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If you'd call the roll for us.
Mr. Batchelor?
Aye.
Ms. Lavender?
Aye.
Mr. Tips?
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton?
Aye.
Chair Young?
Aye. All right, that application's been approved as well. Thanks. Next, we'll move to staff reports and other business. We do have the calendar for next year in front of us to peruse and assume.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a calendar for the body to approve. This was, based on on this year's calendars, sticking to our typical about 2-week submittal and review cycle with the meeting on the is it the third Wednesday of the month, or fourth Wednesday of the month, excuse me. So it's following our typical schedule with a few exceptions around the holidays at the end.
I forget, you want a motion to?
Chair, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments? All right, if you'd call the roll for us.
Mr. Batchelor?
Aye.
Ms. Lavender?
Aye.
Mr. Tips?
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton?
Aye.
Chair Young?
Aye. All right, so that calendar will be approved for us. Anything else?
That is all, Chair.
All right. Wish everyone happy Thanksgiving.
Move with adjourn.
Yeah.
We will adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.